Hey everyone, it's Bruce from the Joinery Coach. Hope you're having a great day. I am about to sit down and have a wonderful session with Josh and Mel from Vogue Creations in Caloundra. I'm actually just here in Perth at the moment. In a beautiful little Airbnb just on the outside of the city. Josh is a client of mine. I've been working with him for about 6 or 7 months now. He owns Vogue Creations up in Caloundra. A really, really impressive operation that do 2-pack paint panels. They'll either cut and supply to you, or they will paint for you if you send them the parts. They really prefer to cut and paint for you because then they can control the quality a whole lot better. I'm going to jump into a hot seat with them in a couple of minutes. They sell to the cabinet industry, shop fitters, anybody that's looking for 2-pack paint panels. Wonderful operation. And just about to jump into a chat with him. Hopefully you enjoy this. We'll see you on the other side. So I'd like to welcome everyone. This is a live hot seat. And I'd like to introduce, Josh, maybe you'd like to introduce your family and your wife and your business and all that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah, so my name's Josh. This is my wife, Mel. And we run a business that does cut and supply of 2-pack doors and panels.
Yeah. Mel, I know you've been working on a lot of the sort of social media stuff recently, and you're an integral part of the business. So I'm really, really glad to have you in this call as well. This is what we call a hot seat. So we're going to ask some questions. We're going to have a bit of fun.
Yep.
So Vogue Creations, that's been a business of yours for how long have you owned Vogue Creations?
We're going on to our 5th year now.
5 years.
5 fast years.
Flies, eh?
Yes.
We've been working together for what, about 6 months, 7 months now?
Yeah, about that. Yep.
There's been some pretty massive improvements in your business over that time. We'll just sort of talk about that, shall we?
Definitely, yeah. So when we first joined up with Bruce, we had already moved into a new factory, and we had gone through a few steps to try and get our factory organised properly, but basically we jumped straight into the factory and threw everything in and started manufacturing, and not a lot of thought was put probably into setting our factory up. So with Bruce...
we kind of just did it the way we'd always done it. We hadn't really changed it. So
Yeah. So along with the factory came increased workload, and we found that we haven't been using the factory to our advantage, and it was just becoming clustered. It didn't matter how big the factory was, it was still becoming clustered. And with Bruce, with your help, we've moved closer into our one-piece flow system to definitely move along and improve our productivity.
The other thing that I love, Josh, is that your beard is growing faster than mine.
It's a work in progress.
Mine's going grayer faster than yours, though. So that might mean something.
I've got the grey coming in. Don't worry.
That's all business related. That grey too.
So I've got a few notes we can share. I'll just hook up my iPad here, and for everybody that's watching, I can actually show you how awesome this business is. So there's your business. There it is.
Yes.
Wow.
What I love about your business is you guys have so much pride in what you do.
Yes.
Your presentation, your showroom, how you do things.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I really love working with you guys on. And and the product that you produce, has been getting better and better and better and better the whole time. Even doing a little bit of due diligence with some of your past clients from 3-4 years ago.
Yes, definitely. Definitely, it's really one thing we really try to work hard with is trying to set ourselves apart from a normal 2-pack spray painter, and we try to everyone sort of says we've got the best product, but we generally always work with our customers as hard as we can to provide them with everything that they require at the same time.
Yeah, and there's more to it than that, and we. As you know, you're in our program, so you're with about 30 other businesses. And what stands out for me with you guys, not only is your product, but of course, you really focus on building your team.
Definitely. It's been a major turning point. Since we started with you, is drilling in of the culture of your business and trying to trying to create a business that you're proud of running, and that you guys really enjoy coming to work, and they're willing to go that extra mile, because you basically are one big family at the end of the day.
We even got a text from one of our guys just today, because he's going overseas, and we were having discussions about his choices.
Yeah.
And in his responses back to us, he was saying, I really value the Vogue family and I really love you guys. And so that was just a real nice confirmation to us that we have started to create this environment of a family environment, that we all are just hanging out and working together as a nice team, which is really nice.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some tough times in the next few weeks, months, maybe,
sure.
this crazy virus, but I think as a team, people in your business, that's your team, right? You stick together. You're gonna get through it. But the other thing I love so much about what you do is you're really family oriented too. This is
definitely,
this is a major driver for what you do, isn't it? Just keeping the family part of it.
For sure, yes. That's my little boy there. I'm having a go at standing his guitar. He got that for his birthday. So, it's definitely about family and culture for us. And so we're in it for the long haul, basically. And it's about trying to develop the cultures and everything else. Because, I believe as a boss myself, running a business is one thing, but people are giving their life's time to be in your business, and you want to make that.
We want to respect that.
Yeah, you want to make an impact on their life at the same time.
Yeah,
definitely.
100% agree. It's really, really cool. So let's talk a little bit about some of the work we've done in the factory.
Yes. Yep.
We've covered quite a few sort of touch points in the business, but
sure.
this has probably been the biggest change that you've had, right?
Definitely. And what we basically did is when we first moved into the factory, we only had one CNC machine, and we sort of placed that in a position that we thought was best. But we got another CNC machine, a larger one as well. And once we introduced that, it really threw out the schematics of the shed. So over the Christmas break, I didn't have a break, and we moved all the machines around. And
I don't think we've ever had a Christmas break.
No, I don't think so.
Let's be real.
Not for the last 5 years. Yeah. So
it's coming.
But one of the major turning points for our business was we implemented a new edge banding system. So we now have a Hebrock edge bander, which does the Airtronic laser edging. So
the parts are coming off your CNC this way.
That's correct. Yep.
Before we get to the edge bander, because that's the fun bit.
Yes.
The other thing I wanted to kind of highlight here is the fact that you've really taken on that extra focus on quality control and a quality system from one step to the other. Like not producing stuff to find mistakes at the end. We're actually looking at quality as it goes through your process, aren't we?
Definitely. So we sat down and did a point by point for each area within our shed, I suppose, and did a full production schedule of each stage. So if anyone ever gets confused about what their job description is or what stage they should be doing next, say for instance running the CNC machine. Whenever we get a job in, there's a step-by-step process that has to be followed to make sure that every critical thing is crossed. Only recently, within the last 2 weeks, an error had popped up and a mistake got through, and we're able to trace that right back to where the problem had arose. And the person running the CNC said, "Oh, I hadn't checked the manual, and I fell behind in that area." So having that check back point all the time really improves our quality and our standards.
It kind of goes like this, doesn't it? You've got a quality, like your product goes through a system like this.
Yes.
If you have a problem here that shows up here, nothing really ever improves. But if you're actually finding the problem here and then tracing it back to what actually happened, then your quality tends to go up, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Because you're eliminating that problem from happening again.
Yes. Yeah. That's really right. Yes. Yeah.
That's really cool. So, all right. So quality systems have gone up. Your has improved your edge bander. So let's talk a little bit about the decision that you had to make when you were buying this edge bander?
His pride and joy, his new toy.
It was a big decision because at the time it was either to go that direction or maybe with a sanding machine, and I felt that implementing this machine was going to give us our biggest gains, and not only in time but also in product quality, and really setting ourselves apart from everyone else. That's it's been the biggest change. Plus creating, it's really the integral part to creating the one-piece flow system for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a key piece of the puzzle.
Definitely.
And just quietly, you have quite a let's call it courageous future goal for this business, to get into flat packing and a full offer. So the edge band is really going to become even more important.
That was another selling point for me, is that whenever I purchase something, I always look for other avenues that I can make money from it as well. And that was a big key point for us. Like, we did have another edge bander, but there was no way it would be able to keep up with the production of a flat pack system. So
it was already struggling to keep up, really.
Yeah,
it was. And by implementing that, it's going to be a win-win for us on all fronts.
Yeah. So we just keep chugging along and
sure.
improvements in your factory. So essentially, as you move parts through your factory now, we're getting closer and closer to one-piece flow. Not stacking parts, right?
Definitely. And if anyone knows anything about the two-pack process, we've even gone to the stages of getting a different board where it comes pre-backed as well. Like, because normally we put a protective wrap on the back of the doors to stop overspray, and we've even gone to the stage now where we're ordering board in pre-backed, so that way as it comes off the machine through the edge bander,
saves time.
It saves time. There's no other stages it has to go through but through that sanding machine that you see there now.
Really cool. So let's talk a little bit about Vogue Creations.
Yep.
And let's talk about some of the key things that you've done in the last little while. Would it be fair to say that we've identified that the internal systems in the business were getting stressed as work picked up and as the business grew? We sort of identified that the system at the core of the business needed some improvement.
Well, definitely. Like my biggest thing was when I took over the business. Look, we bought a failing business. It was closing down. It was shutting down in 30 days. So when I took over the business, it was there was no hidden fact that we might not be able to make this work. But from that point, I've been able to pretty much triple our turnover since I've taken over the business, and we've always improved systems sort of in the back area, but along the way our processes didn't grow with our business. That's been our probably our Achilles heel. Along the way, we just seem to work harder and harder and harder, and
more efficiently.
No, and the systems that we did have in place were fine when we had the turnover when we took over, but they're no longer realistic or relevant now to where we are now.
Yeah, and look, in 5 years' time, we may have to say the same thing, right? So,
well, exactly right.
I hope we do. I hope so.
Yes.
So we did some research. We found one of the systems out there is JobMan.
Yes. Yep.
So it's fair to say, I think at this stage, that's still a work in process, but
it is getting closer and closer. We had some big wins at the end of last week. So we were speaking with Hamish, and he's able to get us through a few hurdles. So we're hoping that
hopefully really soon.
This week, we're really going to be able to kick that into gear a bit more. Yeah.
What are the wins in the factory? We've gone 6-7 months now working in the factory. You've got improved flow.
Yes.
How much do you think that sort of the throughput of the flow in the factory has improved in that period of time?
Well, it's definitely improved the throughput. I think where we notice it most is the less stress that the guys are under to produce the same amount of work. So it enables us to will also free up a bit of time to do more maintenance and work around the factory to try and get that more organised. And it improves everyone's mental health. Like if you're always scurrying around working 100% of the time trying to get work out, the attitudes within the work environment are much nicer now as well.
But it's also had an effect on quality, I would assume, because
definitely. Like even the implementation of the edge bander has improved our quality.
Did you say about the kitchen that got left in the rain?
The edges? Well, it's definitely improved our quality dramatically in the sense that all the guys listening now, they're cabinet makers. They've experienced these issues with 2-pack finishes before, is either getting shadow lines on edges where there's not enough paint, paint chipping off the back edge because there's a sharp edge on the back. By implementing all the edge bander has eliminated all of those issues. As Mel just said before, we had a job that we sent up to North Queensland. The customer received the job and the crate was full of water. And normally I would have just told them to chuck the job in the bin, but because it was edge banded, there's only 3 pieces out of a whole job that I had to actually replace.
Wow.
So we were blown away with that, because even with a 2-pack door sitting in a wet crate for upwards of 2 weeks up to North Queensland, we were blown away. So it's really improved the durability as well.
The panels that were actually the parts that were ruined were parts that didn't have tape on them.
Yeah, we had the raw edge on the back.
The raw edge. So usually all the ones with the tape edges were perfectly fine, which is a real testament to us that it does work.
Yes.
Yeah. And that speaks to the future of the product when someone buys it from you.
Well, for sure. The lifetime, like we pride ourselves that much in our work. We give a 10-year guarantee with any of our work that we put through.
Yep.
And I've owned the business for 5 years now, and it's very rarely we've had to fix something up. And the one thing about the edge tape as well is that it gives you that harder impact resistant edge on the side of doors, because MDF is soft, so as soon as you get dings and chips, it'll dent straight away. But having that heavy edge tape on the side definitely improves the quality.
So
sure.
How far and wide will you send your product? Or do you have a sort of a?
We've sent a whole development to Papua New Guinea.
Yeah. So yeah, we go anywhere. As Mel said, we did a project for a customer up in North Queensland who had a job over in Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
And it was a high-rise building over there of 70 units. So we ship anywhere and everywhere. So we got customers up in Kununurra in Western Australia. We've got customers down in Melbourne, and in South Australia as well. So we span anywhere and everywhere.
So I know one of the other things that you worked really hard on is because your product does get shipped. We've worked really hard on getting the quality of the packaging and the shipping right, because for sure. Like we use solid crates that we make ourselves, and everything is lined with foam, layers of foam in between foam, and our guys have been trained quite extensively on how to pack the crates, because over time we've noticed issues and developed along the way to make sure that a product always gets there safe.
And when things do get damaged, because let's be real, they do, because it's usually 99% of the time it's freight issues and the people with the forklifts being rough and throwing boxes and not looking after them properly and just misjudging or
and the biggest thing,
or leaving them in the rain, like the one was left out and got wet.
But we definitely understand cabinet makers' predicaments when those sort of situations arise, and we work our hardest and utmost to make sure that anything that needs to be replaced is replaced
straight away.
Yeah, in the fastest time possible.
Quick turnaround.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's talk just briefly here about, say, the last 6 months. You've been in business for 5 years now with this particular business.
Yep.
And in the last 6 to 7 months, what are the things that you've started doing that you weren't doing in those previous years?
Good job, man.
Yeah. So looking to a system like JobMan, like that would never have been on the scope of my abilities, and I would never have would have thought about going that direction.
I don't think we even knew they existed. to be honest.
It probably changed our business model a bit as well. Like, we were sort of in between at one point whether we went into doing full kitchen systems, so with all the installation and everything else involved. And after chats with yourself and thinking hard about it, we realised that we've got all the facility for manufacturing, and that's what we really pride ourselves in, is producing the product. We don't need to go into installations. It's another realm that I'm sure your customers understand, and we just want to really focus on producing the best product possible, and leave that up to you guys.
So do great what you're good at, and don't
definitely
install people.
Definitely, and look, we do pride ourselves a lot on the 2-pack. That is our biggest thing, and
lots of like Hamptons shaker routes and stuff in 2-pack.
And I think sometimes when you get a poor quality spray painter or a 2-pack, sometimes it's difficult to explain the amount of work that goes into producing a great product. And when you have a bad spray paint and a bad product, because that's what your customers see at the end of the day. That's one of the most important parts of the kitchen is the finish. So knowing that you've got a great quality product on your side is definitely definitely a benefit.
I think what's been a benefit to us is that Josh's background is in spray painting. He started out as a painter in the business. You trained in French polishing. So his background is the 2-pack finishes. So that's been really beneficial for us taking over, because he's been able to really control that and knows what he's talking about, and can go out there and talk to the painters and explain to them what's wrong and how to change it, which has been really, really good.
Yeah.
Look, it's been so awesome working with you guys for the last 6 months. I'm really excited about what's going to happen in the next 6 months and beyond, because this period of time, it always happens when we start out with this process. There's always sort of this learning curve that almost takes a bit of time to sort of, you have to hear a few clicks, but certainly in the last few months, there's been some pretty heavy clicks happening. And
definitely.
We really had to wait till Christmas till we could move the factory around to really get that one piece flow happening a bit better, because it was just too hard. It was so busy that it was, especially at the end of the year, because that's our busiest period. So it was really hard to actually shift machinery and to stop work for a period of time to be able to shift it around. So Christmas really was
definitely.
And then from there we've kind of gone.
Actually, I think that your business is so awesome right now. It was great before, but now you've kind of got this race car that people don't know exists, right? So I think now really what we need to focus on is getting marketing out there and getting you guys out in the world.
Definitely. We're the world's best kept secret.
that's kind of true, isn't it? So
it is.
So just on that, tell me how people can contact you. What's the best and the easiest way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, sure. So they can either contact us by phone, through that, or they can send us an email through to our email, which is info@voguecreations.com.au.
Or they can book a call through that calling system, because I set it up.
Go to the website.
Yes, they can go to the website. Yes, so
VogueCreations.com.
What's the website? Sorry?
VogueCreations.com.au.
VogueCreations.com.au.
Yeah. They'll also see we've got our different door designs on there as well, so they can go in there and see all our different door designs that we have.
So we've updated the website with the new doors?
Yes, yep.
That's awesome. So congratulations, guys. We've done a lot of work, and we've still got a lot of work to do, but
definitely
you've got a lot to be proud of, and a lot.
It's definitely a journey, and when you're in it all the time, you don't see the steps that you take. But I think it's very important to stand back at some points, and you need to look at the progress that you're making. And as I said before, like taking it from a failing business, 5 years ago to where we are now, and the factory that we have now, like that's been an achievement in itself. Like we've moved from a small 400 square meter shed to a 1,300 square meter shed, and it's been, it's a massive step, and we're fully into it. We're fully committed, and it's definitely a learning curve, and sometimes I feel like I'm a bit of a philosopher when I'm talking to the boys, trying to talk them through their social issues. Or a father. But it's definitely something I didn't think I was going to get out of it, being a business owner. No. So it's more of a I know it's more of a staff. What do you call it?
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, staff management. Then
you're certainly there for them when they need it. That's for sure. So I really enjoy working with you, and I think we need to just get more people to be aware of your product and what.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for doing the hot seat. I think that's fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thanks for that.
Vogue Creations in Caloundra. Thanks for the hot seat with the joinery coach.
No worries.
Peace out.